So I want to ask y'all something. When was the last time that you played like a kid? Having fun that made you smile and forget about problems, even if it was just for a little bit. When I was a kid, we played tag and basketball, ride our bikes, but as an adult, fun often means just kind of sitting on the couch and looking at a screen, and it's just not the same. But for adults, play is still great and it's good for your mental health and well being. So, in this video, we're going to go over why play isn't just for kids, what happens when we don't play as much as we should, and some suggestions on how we can have fun again. So, somewhere along the lines, paying bills and going to works, adults think that play is just for kids, trading play for productivity. But the science says otherwise. There's a guy named Dr. Stuart Brown who founded the National Institute for Play, who studied over 6,000 play histories of people from all walks of life. And he found that play is a hardwired biological drive that is essential for our well being. And he has a TED Talk, Play is More Than Just Fun, and a book, Play How It Shapes the Brain, opens the imagination, and invigorates the soul. And those are some good resources to look at. There's another guy named Jack Panksepp, who is a neuroscientist that discovered play has its own dedicated circuitry in the mammalian brain, which is a fancy word for, just mammals. And that found that play releases endorphins and stimulates the prefrontal cortex, aiding in emotional regulation and social skills. So it's not just humans that have play to be essential, but other mammals as well. Wolves, dolphins, and monkeys continue to play into adulthood. So we have this dedicated circuitry in our brains for it, but what happens if we don't use that dedicated circuitry as much as we should? Dr. Stuart Brown said that the opposite of play isn't just work, it's depression, and observed that the lack of play correlated to being rigid, feeling burnt out, prone to anxiety, depression, and social isolation, and being disconnected from joy and just spontaneity and lack of creativity. So even though it may feel like being responsible for not playing, it can often leave you feeling empty. Now, like me, you probably watch an episode of a show at night or scroll on your phone, and there's nothing wrong with these activities, but they are more passive. Looking at a screen is relaxation and recovery. Play is about liveliness and energy. So the odds are you're probably chilling enough, but maybe not doing things that are as fun and invigorating. So how can we do that? How can we incorporate different types of play? Well, turns out I had no idea, but there's things called your play personality. There's different types of play that light up different people. So we're going to go over some different play styles, and maybe there's one or two or more that you enjoy. So let's go over a couple. So there's the first one is called the competitor, someone who likes keeping score of things like sports, chess, trivia night, card games, fantasy sports, board games, that kind of thing. The next type is the creator or artist, someone who likes painting, writing, crafting, cooking, designing, building, those kinds of activities. The explorer, hiking, traveling, trying new foods. The joker, who likes pranks and funny videos, improv comedy, and just being silly and loving humor. Next is the kinesthetic. I don't know. Moving the body, someone who likes maybe dancing, martial arts, sports, yoga, skateboarding, that kind of thing. Storytelling, role-playing games, writing fiction, creating skits. The collector, maybe stamp collecting or Pokemon cards, vinyl records, sneaker collecting. Last one is the director, who enjoys planning, organizing, leading group events. So yeah, those are the different play styles. And if none of those really sound fun, maybe you could look up different examples, or maybe you could gravitate to what you did as a kid. Think back. What did you enjoy back then as a teenager or as a child? Start there. And whatever you try, you can't get this right or wrong. If you don't like something, that's fine. That's one less thing you to worry about, and try something else. So obviously, because we're so busy, incorporating play is difficult, so how often should we do it? Aim for 30 to 60 minutes per week. This is enough to notice a difference in your mood and stress level, especially if you're starting from zero. And remember, screens do not count as play. Now, if you can't do 30 minutes to an hour in one day, even just 5 to 10 minutes per day is enough to help your brain starting to feel light and a little bit more flexible in between you getting those longer sessions. And you got to try to make this a habit. It's a practice of play, like brushing your teeth or anything else. We got to be consistent to start seeing results. So After your first play session, especially if you're starting from zero, you'll probably have a release of endorphins, feel lighter, more energized. And if you keep it up for after 1 to 2 weeks, you'll have definitely reduced stress levels, an improved outlook, and more social engagement. And longer term, keeping up with this habit 4 to 6 weeks, you'll have a noticeable improvement in emotional resilience, creativity, and connection with others. So choose one thing that you can try to do this week as far as play. It doesn't have to be an hour, it can be just 5 minutes to get started. This is like medicine for your spirit, and it's not anything that you ever grow out of. And I would argue as life gets busy and more serious as we, become adults, play is even more important. So let me know what you think about that idea, and what is one thing that you are going to try to do to play this week. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.